Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Najieya Aneesa. Today, I'm reviewing a profoundly unique book titled When You Think You're Falling by the remarkable Ameera Aslam. This book stands apart from others, offering a raw and honest exploration of Ameera's journey in becoming a better Muslim through the path of repentance. Now, doesn't this resonate with all of us? The struggle to align our lives with faith is universal, yet few have the courage to share it openly. Before reading this book, I wrestled with self-acceptance and felt unworthy of Allah's love. I often questioned whether I was alone in being constantly swayed by the temptations of this dunya. To my surprise, Ameera shared the same battles. The difference? She boldly laid bare her vulnerabilities, while I remained hesitant, still grappling with my insecurities in silence. In this transformative book, Ameera candidly describes her feelings of burnout, hopelessness, and spiritual exhaustion. She was teetering on the edge of despair, questioning her purpose and faith. What saved her? Allah's mercy. The turning point in her journey came when she surrendered all her concerns, worries, and struggles to Allah, finding solace and direction in His guidance. Now, as someone who sees myself in her story, I found this act of turning to Allah terribly difficult. No matter how hard I try, Shaitan's whispers and others' judgment held me back. As an imperfect human, I succumbed to these pressures, feeling inadequate and unworthy. Yet, Ameera's word became a beacon of hope, reminding me that Allah is indeed the most forgiving, the most merciful, and the most loving. Inspired by her words, I embarked on my own journey of repentance, walking down a parallel path with Ameera through the pages of her book. My progress was not immediate. Istiqamah is no easy feat. I often questioned whether my good deeds were accepted or, worse, even performed correctly. At times, I felt like I was stumbling blindly, unsure if I was on the right path. Fortunately, Ameera's practical advice on cultivating istiqamah sparked a light within me. She breaks down the process into small intentional steps. Praying consistently, reflecting on your own behavior during quiet moments, and seeking forgiveness from Allah daily. A gem from this book comes on page 83. Here, Ameera reflects on her unwavering pull toward the prayer mat, even while surrounded with negativity and self-doubt. Allow me to share the passage. I know you've answered my prayer for Iman, because even when I sin, it's you I want to run to afterward. It's still the prayer mat I seek, even if shame is hanging on my back. I know there is no other door, and it's yours I knock on, repeatedly. Now, this passage feels like home. It strikes at the core of my being as Ameera expresses her embarrassment for neglecting Allah and feeling that her deeds are good enough to earn her a spot in Jannah. I too had been consumed by the fleeting pleasures of this dunya, immediately losing sight of the afterlife. Yet, through this book, I learned to push those thoughts aside, focusing on rebuilding my connection with Allah with stronger faith. Another gem from this book is a quote on page 103. Istiqamah means I remember who I'm doing it all for and strive to continue to do them to the best of my abilities, no matter what the circumstances and what my feelings are about it at any given moment. Now, this quote has become my guiding principle. Before reading this book, I simply thought that istiqamah means dressing modestly, avoiding bad deeds, or speaking kindly. Ameera's explanation of istiqamah showed to me that istiqamah actually meant intention and perseverance. On a deeper note, it meant doing things for Allah's sake and for your sake for the afterlife. Despite my deep admiration for When You Think You're Falling, there is a few things that I need to address about this book. At times, Ameera's scenario feels overly personal, and especially on the early chapters, it felt extreme and overwhelming, almost discouraging me to continue reading this book. But I'm glad I did, as the scenarios became relatable as this book progressed. And lastly, my critique for this book is Ameera's overly emphasized feelings. She constantly feels like the need to vocalize insecurities is a need, although it doesn't really align with anyone. And so I think that Ameera's need to take into consideration that people are not the same. I wholeheartedly applaud Ameera Aslam for speaking out about her insecurities with faith. Life has never been brighter, and it all thanks to Ameera's inspiring words. I read When You Think You're Falling 5 out of 5. For people like me, this book has been such a guiding star, and now I no longer struggle with self-acceptance. May we both meet in Jannah, Ameera, inshallah. That concludes my review. Thank you for spending the time to listen.